Ladies and gentlemen, we are live here in Richmond, Virginia. I'm Ashton Jean Lewis, and my color analyst today is
Black
Julia
and
Rankin.
white.
We got one for you, ladies and gentlemen. A rematch of a pool play game yesterday to decide the best club team in all of America. Connecticut, the Whales on the right-hand side, the Warriors on the left. And as we get going, we'll talk about the names as we go along. John Jackson at keeper for Connecticut. Miguel Esparza on a run, pass over to DME and a quick dunk. That's 10-0 for the Warriors. DME wearing some tape that I didn't see him wearing last game, so interesting.
Yeah, hopefully he's not nursing an injury. Big player for this team, and he wants everything at his disposal, every body part.
I tell you what, it's probably helping that knee feel better. His alma mater, national champions for the first time ever in program history. Creighton are D1 college champions after an almost near comeback from Virginia in that one, but nonetheless, Creighton got it done. Pass back between Lindsey Morella and John Jackson, looking for the hammer attempt on here. Let's see if they can get Daniel Williams off of his mark. And Vinny is subbed in for Augie Monroe, who went out there just to run for the ball. Lindsey's going to take a beat. Daniel's running back there. Emma Person's over to the right-hand side, and that's not a pass. That's just a shot.
Great shot from Emma Parsons, Team USA. That's what gets you on that team. Fantastic player.
Score currently 10-10. Warriors scored relatively easy. Connecticut had to slow it down just a little bit, got about 3 or 4 passes before Emma Persons, who apparently has limitless range, was able to nail that one on the right hoop. Ball going behind the hoops. That's Miguel Esparza back up top to DME. A beat from Daniel Williams and a quick reset. John Jackson's going to rotate over to cover the hoop that was attempted for the hammer play, and it's Vinny up top trying to work around Daniel Williams' tap beats. DME moves the ball over to Miguel Esparza, no beater in front of him. Vinny's going to fake on the pump fake, get the ball back to DME, and Daniel Williams is standing directly in front of him, trying to distract Vinny so he can get that one-on-one. DME is one of the best at getting away from pretty much any defender. That's a good hook shot from Miguel Esparza as he gets it over the extended arms of the Connecticut Whaler.
And this has been a great job by the beaters on both teams. Connecticut beaters holding dodgeball control for most of this game so far, but it was getting switched over to the Warriors now.
And that's Vincenzo who's running that ball back. Leo Free trying to get up the pitch. Gets a little tap on Miguel Esparza down the right-hand sideline. Are they going to call that impeding, perhaps? Miguel didn't look to have the ball. Ryan Davis has it in their hands. Amanda Dallas, part of the coaching staff for not only Creighton, but also for the Warriors, walking back to the coach's box after yelling something at an AR. And that AR, Matt Melton, is going to go over and explain something to Dallas. We do not have a call seemingly on this one.
And I'm excited to see what the Warriors do now that they have dodgeball control on offense, considering they've been able to score without it.
Tessa Mullins is going to track back after taking a beat from Daniel Williams, and that's going to set up the Warriors' easy goal on that outside hoop.
Again, DME, a big player for this team, able to score easily on that defense.
And for the first time today, Lulu Zhu is in the game over on the left-hand side entering. And that means, as you all know, Max Havlin's not too far behind. Kobe Kendall is stepping up towards the keeper line, right with Ryan Davis. Lulu's going to try and jar that ball free. Daniel is going to tap her on the leg. Back up top, Lindsey Morella, over to Emma Persons. We've already seen her nail a killer shot. That's over to Leo Frieden, deflected by Miguel Esparza. Ryan Davis is on a run. There are no dodgeballs back for Connecticut, so they're going to have to get this tackle. Pass over to Miguel Esparza, in motion and in stride for the goal.
And that was a great read on the pass from Esparza, able to track that down and knock the pass away, leading to that fast break opportunity.
Referees are conferring. And typically, when there's such an explosive play in terms of running up and down the field, it means that somewhere along the line, a beater probably committed some sort of foul in the process of doing what they normally do relatively quickly. You get sped up in the process, and you end up committing stuff like third pleasure interference. Let's see if there's actually going to be a call, though.
Looks like the refs have decided, and there's going to be no call on that play.
That score is currently 40-10 in favor of the Warriors, who just 2 years ago found themselves crowned club national champions. Looking to do that again. Connecticut, a new team this year to USQ, but as you can tell from some of the names we read off, plenty of talent around. As the current lineup that's on the field, if I'm not mistaken, other than Vincenzo, is on Team USA. Oh, I'm sorry, Max Havlin, Lulu Zhu, Emma Persons, Lindsay Morella, John Jackson, Leo Freed, all on Team USA.
Yeah.
Not many teams in this game can say that they can pull that one off.
No, certainly not.
Ball's back up top. Daniel Williams is going to beat out Lulu. The quad ball is going to go over and be covered by Max Havlin. Lindsay Morella is looking for the pocket to walk into. Amanda Dallas has entered the game for the first time today. She's a part of the Team USA coaching staff.
Just a stacked roster for both teams.
No doubt. Pretty sure outside. Oh, wait. I mean, it's about 90% Team USA players on the field right now.
Yep.
So, yeah. Looks like it's just practice.
Oh,
Leo Freed sidesteps a dodgeball, gets skinny, as a friend of mine, Brandy, likes to say, and tosses that one through.
goes right up into the air for the easy put through.
And Leo Freed, I'm sorry, I was going to say, Leo Freed with a rare opportunity to go from college champion a year ago to club champion the following year, back to back.
That would be certainly impressive.
Let's see. Ryan Davis going behind the hoops. Molly Potter going to rotate over. Miguel Esparza going to take the spot where Ryan Davis originally was. You're not going to see the defenders extend too much because they're more concerned about the space in front of the hoops, and you can see why. Ryan Davis with a quick dunk. The beaters got worked out of that play because of the positioning of the quad ball with the dodgeballs. Max Havlin is going to take a beat that he didn't want to and run back into the field of play. And it looks like Daniel Williams is going to slowly rotate both dodgeballs forward and create his own one-man press. Throws one away to prevent the third dodgeball interference. And now an attack on Emma Persons. She's going to flick the ball right to Ryan Davis as she was under duress and couldn't come up with that one. Pass over to DME and another goal for Warriors.
It looks like
Lulu's down. It's going to be a stoppage and play. Lulu is down. Sorry, what were you saying, Julie?
it looks like they're also going to call that goal no good. They haven't changed the score, and the ref did not blow the whistle for a good score. In fact, she indicated that goal was going to be no good.
And that looked like a fast break play. We've seen Warriors run like a million times.
Yeah.
Man. Lulu's going to pop up. At first, it was a tackle between Lulu Zhu and Daniel Williams, where Daniel ended up on top and her neck kind of craned in the wrong direction. She is going to have to sub out, though. They did stop play to check on her and make sure she's okay from the injuries. And they're going to send in, if I'm not mistaken, that is, in fact, Aaron McCready for the first time today. And it is previously a key player for Boston in many different capacities in different leagues as well. Aaron McCready, yet another really good quad ball player. I think you guys are starting to piece together why these two teams are in the finals.
If you're Connecticut right now, you're going to want to make sure that this offense is completed just to keep the score close. As you said, Ashton, these two teams faced off against yesterday, and the score was not necessarily close on that one. Warriors handedly won that game. And if you're Connecticut, you don't want to give them that lead and just let this game get away from you as well.
And I'll do it. He's on the field.
Yeah.
There's a goat loose. Augie Monroe, most championships in the history of U.S. quad ball, pretty much quad ball in general, onto the field. First touch of the game as well. A quick blow from Max Havlin, and it looks like Aaron McCready's going to get a dodgeball loose and force Daniel Williams out of his spot. Augie Monroe rotates the ball back up to Lindsay Morella. Lindsay back to Augie, trying to draw Amanda Dallas out of position, and it gets to Leo Freed. Leo deflects the dodgeball and scores that one after recovering his own deflection. That's amazing effort. That's why he wears the gloves.
Amazing catch and finish from Leo Freed. Augie Monroe, fresh off retirement. Amazing pass from him with the beater coming right at him.
And I texted Augie a couple days ago when they finally revealed that he was on Connecticut. And I was like, oh, man. He's like, yeah, we'll see if it's actually like riding a bike. As you can tell, Augie Monroe has not missed a step.
It is exactly like riding a bike for him.
Back over to Ryan Davis, and a chaser comes off the hoops to defend out of Connecticut's trees. Miguel Esparza looking for that shot on the top hoop and elects to not rip it because Leo Freed has shown many, many times he's fully capable of getting to the apex of the center hoop when he needs to. Daniel Williams is down. That's Aaron McCready who's going to take him down, and there's going to be an advantage play, and it's 4 Warriors. Miguel's on top, and Leo Freed takes him out.
We're going to have a ref discussion on that play there. I'm loving that defense from Connecticut. Even though they're generally playing in trees, they know that the Warriors, 1, have good, amazing drivers, and 2, love a good give and go. And with that combination, you have to have that anticipation on defense in order to fly off out of trees to cover those passes. And Connecticut knows this, and they're doing it fantastically.
And not to get into too much deep quad ball theory, a lot of people think that trees is a bunch of standing around. The problem with trees is it takes more explosion than you typically would associate with standing around with your hand up, because you have to be able to pop off the hoops lightning quick like we saw Leo Freed. In case you're wondering, Leo Freed was at the center hoop and was able to cover enough space to get in front of the small hoop and catch Miguel Esparza, one of the fastest players in this game.
Exactly.
Have to wonder if there's going to be a call. They looked like they had there was an advantage hand up when Daniel Williams was getting tackled by Aaron McCready, which could be horrendous if a beater is about to go into the box for Connecticut. And also, there's the possibility, I don't think they're going to call it, but that Leo Freed made contact from behind on Miguel Esparza and missed the angle. Doesn't look like that's the case. Are they going to say neck contact? I see somebody motioning towards their neck. Oh, she's turning on her microphone to make the announcement out loud.
Regardless, if there is a card for Connecticut, I mean, that's going to put Warriors in a great position to score. And that just means that Connecticut player is going to get right back out there, and you just got to move on to the next play.
50-30 is the call, and they are going to send Aaron McCready to the box, which means that not only will Warriors probably score, they're going to maintain dodgeball control in the possession on this one as well. Are they going to put that loose? So there's a dodgeball in the hand of an official. I don't understand. Aaron McCready did not have a dodgeball when she made that tackle on Daniel Williams, so I don't get why the dodgeball would be taken away from a Connecticut beater out there. But it is in possession of a referee. And they're going to put it behind the hoops, trying to determine where it was based off of before the whistle was blown. Max Havlin's going to have his fist up. See if Lulu Zhu checks back into the game after that collision with Daniel Williams earlier at mid-pitch. Leo Freed did have Miguel down on the ground, but he has to start standing up. He's got DME to his left. Miguel has DME to his left, and Ryan Davis front-facing on the front of the defense. And
Molly
as
Potter
I was going to say,
right by the hoop.
Almost like they drew it up on a dry erase mark, right?
Illegal contact from behind. It will be 1 minute in the box or until Warriors score.
And they're saying McCready made contact with Daniel Williams from behind. I'm sure he saw Aaron coming and tried to run away from her before he could get wrapped, because Aaron's tackle was actually really good. She got not only Daniel's arms, but she was able to seal the ball into his stomach so he couldn't actually rip it out and beat her with it.
And if it hadn't been from behind, that would have been a textbook tackle.
Correct.
Great move by her otherwise.
Let's see what happens here. Pass over to Ryan Davis, driving middle, scores on that hoop. Lindsay Morella couldn't do much about that. We'll say sneaky amount of speed. Lindsay started on that small hoop and was already on that middle hoop on the far left-hand side by the time that Ryan Davis ran across the face of the defense.
And that score means that McCready is back in this game, handing over the dodgeball to Havlin.
Augie Monroe with the possession up the field with Leo Freed, formerly of Harvard. Harvard, as some people would say, because I'm from the South. Ball back behind. They're going to skip pass over to Lindsay Morella. Lindsay back up top, rips that one, gets it over to Emma Persons. They're going to take Leo Freed out after he scored 2 goals for Connecticut in this game so far. McCready is down, going to tag back in. 3 chasers and a beater so far for Connecticut. They're going to take their time on this possession, knowing that they got to kill time and also prevent Warriors from being able to run in transition if something happens. Now Daniel Williams forcing the issue. Leo Freed is loose, takes a shot on the center hoop, And that one pops down, and they're going to still run it anyway. Ryan Davis down the right-hand side. Augie Monroe ready for the tackle, makes contact, and he forces the missed shot. That is a missed shot on the part of the Warriors. Great move from Augie Monroe.
Yeah, that was great hustle from Augie. Able to get back from behind the hoops, right back onto defense, just enough to mess Davis up.
Right.
The amount exactly needed.
Miguel Esparza subbing out, and into the game is going to be Yada. Lulu Zoo's back into the game after that injury.
That's good to see. I'm glad she could come back in.
Kobe Kendall back into the game as well after subbing in at an earlier period. Amanda Dallas is going to sub out. Molly Potter on the left-hand hoop over here. Augie Monroe running away from Ryan Davis. They're inside the zone, making them unbeatable. So you want to get away from them as much as possible. Control lies with the Warriors, which means they're going to step up a little bit higher until Connecticut is able to find a way to throw at them, and they're going to throw back all the recycling, stuff like that, and then a scrum for the balls is going to happen.
Okay. Connecticut moving slowly on offense until pressured by the Warriors. Great tackle by Davis there.
Leo Free trying to get a call for contact to the head, but he did spin into it, meaning he gets his ability to be penalized for that negated. That's Yada on the swim over. Pass over to Molly Potter on the backhand side, and that's an easy goal for Molly. Always in the right spot, always with the sure hands.
She's so sneaky about it, too. You don't always know she's there until it's too late.
Augie Monroe breaks a Ryan Davis tackle. There's a huge uproar from the crowd. Beater exchange.
On the run.
DME running, and he gets hit from the side and rolls over, but finishes on that bucket. And we're starting to see there's a lot of back and forth between these two teams exploding, but only one team is able to get the ball through the hoop.
Right. That makes the score 80-30 in favor of the Warriors. And we have a few subs coming in from the Warriors, including Annika
The Warriors are showing press here. Sorry. John Jackson is under duress from Yada, crosses away from him. Daniel Williams is going to beat him. He tosses it, what he thought was going to be to himself. Taylor Crawford's running loose. Yada's got the ball up front, crosses over to the right, gets the dunk attempt off. Augie delays him, and he finishes on that middle hoop.
And that was great patience by Yada there.
Because he started inside of his own keeper zone, took a couple steps forward, and when he saw Daniel make that action, he sprinted down the field to cover John Jackson.
Exactly. And that's going to be a timeout from Connecticut. A great timed out, because the score is starting to get a little bit into the same story as what happened yesterday. And you don't want that happening. You got to figure out what's going on wrong on offense for them. The Warriors is playing a great defense. Connecticut's also playing a pretty great defense. It's their offense that isn't necessarily connecting as much.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, the talk about the connectivity of the offense, there's another thing that we've seen. They've almost 0% chance of getting inside any closer than the keeper zone to those hoops. That bubble that you typically see when you're talking about playing on flag on pitch in terms of like circling around the flag runner, you're seeing that around all three hoops. Yeah. Dominant beater performance up front, obviously led by Daniel Williams, a guy that many people consider to be the number one beater in the world, and you're seeing why here. Connecticut down one of their key players here. We can talk about it. Yeah. Luis Sanchez over here in his Team USA jersey, because he was MVP of the World Cup that actually happened here in Richmond, Virginia, just in a different facility.
Yeah.
But he was MVP of the finals versus Germany, securing yet another gold medal for Team USA. Unfortunately, last night during the game versus Warriors, there was an incident where he tweaked his knee, and he's not able to suit up. He hasn't had his uniform on all day, and Connecticut, I'm sure he tried to give it a go this morning, but it's always tough, especially as you get older. Those first couple of steps when you wake up in the morning, some of the toughest you're going to take, especially after a quad ball tournament on day one. Nationals is a grind, no matter where you end up.
And that's a tough loss for Connecticut, not just because you're losing MVP of the World Cup, but you're losing just a great off-ball chaser.
Right. And Lewis is really good when it comes to operating in small spaces. So trying to find a way to jar these dodgeballs loose from control of the Warriors. That has been a difficult task for every single beater for Connecticut here today. Back over to Lindsay Morella, down low, inside the pocket, the gap between the keeper's own line and that small hoop. Moving back over to Emma Persons, who had that rocket of a shot we saw earlier, and maybe Connecticut's going to need a little bit more of that magic to get back into this game.
Yeah. It's going to be hard to find a shot from Connecticut, though, because Warriors is in pretty much a trees defense.
And that's an interception off Michael Lee. Taylor Crawford running to the right-hand side. Annika Kim over to his left, looking to try and draw that beat so he can kick it over to Annika. But now with Jacob Ehrlich into the game for the first time today, along with Kobe Kendall, there's going to be a pass over to Yada. Yada loves to go on that center hoop. Pass over to Crawford, and he hooks it sidearm to that mid-size hoop. And he does what we've seen him do a million times.
Doesn't matter if you have somebody right in front of him. He can just hook that shot around.
It's almost like he's been playing a long time or something.
Almost
like
it.
Yeah. Rumors have been swirling. Obviously, when you ask him, he's going to tell you. I have not said that I'm retiring. I've also said that I'm not coming back. So
loves to keep it a mystery.
Yeah, loves to keep it a mystery. I think it's all dependent on how the finals for this game goes.
Yeah.
I think most athletes can relate to that. John Jackson, Emma Persons back up top. Augie Monroe's, that's Michael Lee trekking back from the back right corner after taking that beat. No beater pressure just yet from the Warriors. Ball over to Emma Persons. Have to wonder, do we start talking about stalling?
It looks like Connecticut's not going to draw that stalling card right now because that pass is going to go right over to Morella.
That's Lindsay back up top. Skip pass. Back to Emma Persons. Michael Lee's the only chaser behind the hoops for Connecticut. Moving back over on top. Back to Emma Persons. A dodgeball is thrown, but there's no Connecticut beater to actually make any action on it because Aaron McCready was tagging back in. Michael Lee getting the wing sprints in. That's the second time he's been beat in this singular play. Once again, we're seeing Connecticut slow it down, try and figure this out. Both beaters from Warriors show as if they're going to run at Lindsay Monroe to force the ball back up top. And Thomas DeMove, who is trying to find an entry angle against a guy like Kobe Kendall. And that's going to be, against a person like Kobe Kendall. That's going to be tough.
That is going to be tough for him.
Kobe with the pump fakes, and we're seeing something we've seen off and on between the Warriors. Thomas is on the attack, and he wraps Kobe, and they're going to say Thomas is off broom for an illegal contact from behind, but it's not going to be a card. Kobe Kendall's on the right-hand side. Aaron McCready's now trying to race Kobe back to the center hoop to see if they can come up with a ball. She's going to get a beat instead from Jacob Ehrlich, and there's going to be a shot taken and missed. John Jackson over the top. Lindsay Morella running to the left-hand side, trying to get away, and all of the Connecticut chasers are behind the hoops. Lindsay's got a ball, a spin move, a shot taken, and Yada snatches it out of the air.
If Yada hadn't been there, I truly believe that ball was going right into that hoop.
And wow, Lindsay Morella has picked up flag football in her meantime, in her free time. And if you don't follow her on Instagram, her highlights are insane. And you saw why just there. All the way down to one knee and still thinking about scoring. That was a great shot as she was spinning around. Daniel Williams is checking back into the game. Annika Kim is in for the Warriors. Christian Barnes in for the first time today. Michael Lee is out there playing keeper. Ball back up top to Taylor Crawford. Looking for a shot. Trying to rip that through. A couple of extended hands. Vinny's up top. Vinny's going to rotate backwards to try and force that shot. And it's snapped out of the air by John Jackson. And now he's on a free run. The only person who can stop him is going to be Taylor Crawford. And he can't get him in enough time. And Connecticut is on the board for the first time in about 3 minutes.
Yeah, that was great defense from Connecticut. Both of these teams kind of opting for that trees defense. The Warriors have been a bit more disciplined with it, though. Connecticut moving that ball around. The Warriors not really having to move as much with the way they've set up their chasers and their beaters. Connecticut having to move around a bit more, getting beat out at the hoops. But John Jackson obviously still able to get that block off.
The effectiveness of trees at this level is almost directly connected to the beater formation. And it looks like Connecticut is not only going to have control, but they're going to have a stacked formation. Taylor Crawford going to rip a shot after a quick hammer. That's the problem with stack. You do a great job of covering up the middle, but the edges are the most difficult angles for you to hit because of the positioning of the back beater in those spots. So trees again from Warriors. Saves them a lot of energy. That's why those guys get out and running when they get that ball loose up front.
Save all your energy for offense.
Yeah. Michael Lee, recent transfer over from New York Slice.
Yep.
Over to Emma Persons. Looking for an angle. Daniel Williams with his back turned to the ball. Trying to figure out what Tessa Mullins is up to, knowing that she's a huge threat. Christian Barnes with the fake over. Looking back up top, Warriors is rotated into a stack formation for their beaters. Morella back up top to Emma Persons. Michael Lee's going to run again. And we're starting to see him slow down just a bit on those trek backs after taking those beats. This is about the third or fourth time we've seen him tag back in. Leo Freed back into the game. He was one of the few offensive bright spots for Connecticut. Taylor Crawford trying to wrap him, has his hip, and he takes him down. That's going to be continuation of a tackle after the ball was out. And Michael Lee may be getting ready to get a second opportunity on this one after bobbling that catch.
That was a great cut from Lee and a great pass by Morella. Lee just couldn't handle the ball right as it hit his hands. Otherwise, that ball was going right in.
And I think Lee, because he's been such a great offensive player for such a long time, he understood that was not going to be a situation where you catch and shoot. You have to get the shot power in your first contact and push it all the way through to even have a chance to score that one. As we saw his slight bobble, he got hit with 2 dodgeballs.
Right, right. Still a great cut from Lee. That's something that you really like to see. Personally, as a female chaser, is when your male chasers are making those off-ball cuts. They don't always do that. They're not always aware that they can also do that. So I'm glad that he's pulling off those moves as well.
And Julia, you are an elite level shooter in this game based off all the film I've seen you play.
Oh, thank you.
Are Connecticut passing up shot angles that you're seeing that would typically be, or is it really that locked down from the Warriors up front?
Truly, from my perspective, I'm not shooting on the Warriors defense like that. Not unless my beaters are going in and trying to disrupt them a bit more, because they are staunchly on those hoops. You have to somehow get into that defense and just put your hands through the hoop. It's dunk time for them, because otherwise those shots are just getting blocked.
Yeah, and you get into this catch-22 of like, I don't have enough time to dunk because the beaters are there, and I also can't shoot because the chasers are there.
So what do? Connecticut needs to find out. I don't need to find out.
Look, I'm over here. They're the ones running until their time. Yeah. Yellow card.
Warriors, number 2. Illegal contact. Contact from behind. 1 minute in the box or until Connecticut scores.
And that's going to put the ball right back into Leo Freed's hands. And if he can make that run, he has his choice of the middle hoop or the medium-sized hoop, but he has to be aware of the dodge. Never mind. There is no dodgeball right there.
Leo Freed on a run.
Yeah,
he's
that's
going to score
right
that one. Molly Potter's down. She's going to hop up real quick. I was a little concerned that there may be a charge call on that. And now Tessa Mullins going up against Daniel Williams, pops it off his foot. And now Connecticut has control for back-to-back possessions for the first time in this game. Let's see what they do with it.
Yeah, this is great for them because that's just what they need, not to only to help them out on defense, but to make those plays possible on offense, just as we were talking about, get Warriors moving a bit more on defense.
Daniel Williams trekking back up. Vinny ready to shoot. He covers the hammer. And whoa. Multiple refs have said no. The goal ref is already sprinting towards the head ref. It looked like it was good from over here. Christian Barnes is saying something to David Bennis. By the way, congratulations to David Bennis for being a great human, but also being named Referee of the Year for USQ. Yeah, congratulations. Yeah. Ben is heavily invested in his old college team, Michigan State, who made it pretty far in the D2 bracket. Pass back up top. Yada's going to maintain possession. Michael Lee not afraid to go out there and lay a hit, but he's going to take a beat because he's outside of the zone regardless of his keeper headband. Yada working back over, and Annika Kim is going to be blocked. Molly Potter's going to get the rebound, fake middle, and go right.
Great connection between Kim and Potter there.
Right. Annika Kim, the newest addition to the Warriors after graduating from Rutgers. Obviously, deep connection with Rutgers between Lindsay Morella and Annika Kim. They have a really good habit of producing great quad ball players overall.
Right.
Vinny up front. Tessa Mullins does not have a dodgeball. Michael Lee's driving, trying to get some action, and have deflected. Oh, no, they're going to say he was beat. But Michael Lee may have to do some reckless running in there to try and trigger some of those beats so he can get his teammates open without the dodgeballs having to be thrown. Sometimes the chasers got to help out the beaters.
Exactly. I mean, it's a team sport. You got to help out all of your teammates.
Michael Lee also may have just been tired of just running back and forth between the two hoops.
We're giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, he's like, I gotta get out here and get it. He's antsy. He's ready to get this bucket going. Scores currently 120 to 50 for Connecticut. Jacob Ehrlich in at the beater position along with Christian Barnes. This is the usual pair we see between these two for the Warriors. DME over to the left-hand side, a lot calmer than we've seen in past possessions. Taking his time, trying to work on getting a good shot, especially with such a big lead. Molly Potter receives this ball, got 2 dodgeballs in front of her. Annika Kim is going to rotate back up top. This is diamond formation from Warriors that they've rotated into with Ryan Davis at the back point. Molly Potter, not afraid to shoot it, back over to DME. Trees defense so far, as you can tell, moving that ball around does not affect Trees in the way that, because you're defending the hoops, not necessarily the ball overall. DME look and move. Michael Lee knocked DME off balance for that shot, and he was still able to rip it through because of the amount of power he put on that inside foot.
Freed came off the hoops a little bit. They're worried about the driving threat, understandably so, but that stepping off the hoops allowed that shot to go in. You got to be more disciplined on Trees there.
And there's going to be a dodgeball given to Connecticut because of a near illegal immunity call, I believe, on the part of Warriors. But Vinny's going to get one after taking a beat from Christian Barnes. But like you said, Leo rotated over after he saw one of his teammates get hammered. And when he has to switch to the small hoop, the 2 other defenders on the field can't defend the top of the center hoop.
Right.
And we're at the 20-minute mark just like that, ladies and gentlemen. Connecticut down big. This is last possession. It'd be great to go into flag on pitch with a goal, and they will do just that.
That was a great drive by Augie Monroe.
Right.
Exactly what I was talking about earlier. This isn't going to be a defense that you can shoot on. You have to look for those open windows of opportunity to drive in. You have to wait for your beaters to disrupt something and then just take it right in.
130-60 is the score.
This game has felt faster than a lot of the other games. It's been a very well officiated game in the sense that when there have been stoppages, those stoppages have been very quick and
Right.
they make their decisions.
And it's usually, and this is the situation you find yourself in when you're in the final, every ref that's on the field is a head ref.
Yeah.
So they're all pretty much thinking the exact same thing. It's just about if what they saw happen is actually correct. So that is a key aspect of this. The refs have done a fantastic job, and the crowd is cheering for whoever is holding up the scoreboard as they walk around so that everybody can see the digital scoreboard showing the score 130-60.
I'm fairly sure that's Keelan.
130-60 here, 20-minute mark, and in fact it is. Surprise Keelan doesn't have their camera.
Oh, it's around her neck.
There you go.
There you go.
I would expect nothing less. Hey, the scoreboard has a custom print on top of it that has the Richmond logo for U.S. Quadball Cup 25. I like that.
We're actually rich in this league.
There we go. Shirley Lou takes over. Good things start happening. That's what I heard. Don't ever let her leave. Sign her to a lifetime contract.
We've got the flag runner coming out. We're going to start this game back up, and we've got both seekers in the box. Both teams.
We might be here a while.
It might be a while.
This is Peter Lawrence, who's a Bosnian bear shark in his free time, a.k.a. when he plays club ball. He's ridiculously strong and has long arms. The worst possible combination. I did see Smutney here, and that would probably be the worst possible scenario we could possibly come up with. Peter's pretty bad, too, if you're a seeker and expecting to get a pull here. So this will be interesting.
But he's going to have to defend against top-tier seekers in Ryan Davis for the Warriors and Leo Freed for Connecticut.
And this is the problem a little bit sometimes when one of your best chasers is also your best seeker.
Yeah.
Ryan Davis, one of the best scorers for Warriors. Leo Freed, the only person we've seen so far from Connecticut get any consistent form of offense, right? And he's been magic when he's been behind those hoops. So having him out there at flag runner could be pretty tough, especially considering a flagpole will put a sizable dent in the lead, but it will not bring them into a situation where when they return to quad ball play, it will probably change the tempo at which Warriors is operating with. So maybe they want to stay in the flag on pitch period a little bit longer if they can figure out during flag on pitch if they can find a way to get some more points.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I mean, you've been there before, Julie. You've been playing for a long time. There are teams that they are a different beast when it comes time for the flag to be out because the beaters are off the hoops, and there's a lot of chasers who become a totally unstoppable force when there's no beaters in their way.
And I mean, we saw it from Connecticut in the semifinals against Bosnia and Bear Sharks. The game was very close throughout the entire time until we got to the 20-minute mark where Connecticut was able to put it away.
Yeah. Argument Row back out here. Miguel Esparza, one of those players who during flag on pitch and there's no beaters in the way and he can run free on that green grass is a problem. Former teammate, by the way, and that's a good goal there. Molly Potter with a beautiful cut to the space there. When there's no beaters to create that interior part of your defense, you see people like Molly Potter do a great job as well. Max Havlin takes a beat on Daniel Williams. He's going to be called clear. Tessa Mullins is going to pick up a dodgeball, and Connecticut is going to get the pull. Leo Freed just walks behind Peter Lawrence. He's distracted, and this is the worst situation to be in when you're the first seeker to the flag, not knowing where the opposing seeker is, and you lose track of guys like Leo Freed, bad things happen.
I mean, when you have such a threat like Ryan Davis in front of you, sometimes you can get tunnel vision and forget that you have an equally as dangerous threat as Leo Freed is right behind you.
And Peter Lawrence is putting the flag back on, and the crowd is saying boo, because they saw what happened there. Maybe Peter was saying that he was down in that situation. Either way, Leo Freed, man, Tessa Mullins just threw a dodgeball at Ryan Davis and missed him by like a mile, which is the first bad throw we've seen from her all day, to be honest with you. Leo Freed dives in and takes a beat right when he does it. Actually, he doesn't take a beat. The second one that comes through from Kobe Kendall hits. John Jackson's working, and a missed catch from Emma Persons drops a pretty easy cut and drive there. We've seen Emma make that play a ton of times. Now DME is in free space with John Jackson. The shot is no good, and it's covered by Emma. The flag is off. Ryan Davis is going to be told to go back to the hoop because his pull was no good. Ryan Davis going to wait for his beaters to get out there and approach. Leo Freed on the attack as well.
Both
Ryan is going to take a beat.
Running back.
Max Havlin is going to be beat. So more than likely, Ryan Davis is going to get some free time when he gets back over here. Connecticut looking to make up for that missed goal that they had just a couple of minutes ago. Great defensive stop. Ryan shifts his hips and explodes towards that sock and doesn't get it. Leo's trying to get the back pull. He jumps on top of Peter Lawrence, and he's been called off. He blocks that ball. That dodgeball is going to come all the way over here. Williams is going to step onto the field of play, and one of the cameras is unplugged. I don't know which one that was. Daniel Williams is going to run through it, though.
Nothing stops a player like that.
Hopefully the photographer got some of those great photos as Daniel was running right towards him before they ran him over. Mohagog, who pulled earlier versus Heat, is into the game. Takes a quick beat. Another drive from Taylor Crawford. Will he finish? He will on the center hoop.
That's going to be another goal from the Warriors there.
Mohagog on the attack again. A quick stoppage coming up.
And this has been an electric flag runner floor so far.
And we're seeing Connecticut finally be able to open up on offense, but will it be enough? The pace that they're setting, the Warriors are matching.
We're going to have a bit of a ref discussion. Looks like they're seeing something that happened on that last play. Whether or not it's going to be a card, we'll find out shortly.
And it felt like Taylor Crawford's drive was pretty routine, especially on that center hoop dunk. So you have to wonder if this is something in the beater game, which could turn over control and possibly shift this over. Lulu and Max Havlin out here on the pitch.
Dodgeball control in hand.
Leo Freed directly behind him. Daniel Williams is the only beater for Warriors with a ball.
Quadball is going to end up in the hands of John Jackson.
And right now, offensively, it's John Jackson, Augie Monroe, Emma Persons, Lindsay Morella, and then for the Warriors, it's Molly Potter, Annika Kim, Kobe Kendall. DME is out there as well, along with Taylor Crawford. And the beater pair is, like we said before, Kobe Kendall, Daniel Williams. And the seeker for Warriors is Mohagog, who pulled for the win versus Heat in the semifinal to elevate Warriors to the final.
We're going to get a call from the head ref here.
DME's going to walk to the box.
And
I don't think he even understands what happened.
Goal is negated.
Taylor Crawford's goal is no good, and Another chance to breathe some life into this game for Connecticut. They're going to call an illegal screen essentially on DME. If you are moving when you make contact with somebody and it impedes their path, you are committing what they call a body block, and it's illegal. All the dodgeballs are thrown at the same time. Leo is going to jump to go and defend Mo Hagag, and he forced him out of bounds to make him go back to the hoops. John Jackson on the attack. Augie Monroe running towards the ball, and he gets that quick pass from Jackson for the goal. Lulu and Max have the bubble. Let's see how long they can hold it. Leo's going to get some alone time. Dodges a beat. Mo Hagag running towards mid-pitch. Daniel Williams is down. Mo is up front. Leo's trying to be the second seeker at the flag runner there. Taylor Crawford finally bringing the ball out of the keeper zone. Now Lulu's running him down. They use their reset, step backwards, and now there's two players down.
And Crawford's on the run.
Pass over to DME, who's out of the box after that Connecticut goal. Looking up top, pump fake there. John Jackson strips DME. He's running down the ball. DME still has possession, cuts back up top. Kobe Kendall takes a beat in the seeker game, and somehow Connecticut is maintaining dodgeball control. Lulu Zoo and Max Havlin on fire. Pass over to Taylor Crawford. Tackle made. Shot missed. Molly Potter's going to run this one down. And Leo Freed slices the flag off. Daniel Williams with the catch, and he's got to take Leo. No, Leo dodges the dodgeball, and he stays in play. He's going to be up for the count. Christian Barnes and Leo Freed take them both down. Oh, is that a double beat? No, Daniel Williams is going to get the beat off but miss it. Ryan Davis back into the field of play. A stop from Connecticut, and Leo Freed's running back towards the flag runner. Lulu Zoo has a ball. Daniel Williams is down. Max is the only beater with the ball, and he takes them both out.
I'm glad to see Connecticut has finally figured out their defense here where it matters the most for them.
And Daniel Williams coming back towards the flag runner with the ball. Leo takes a beat in the back. Augie Monroe going to take his time. Molly Potter match defense against whoever has the ball. Tries to take down Augie Monroe. She's hanging on for dear life to Augie Monroe. He passes it back over to Lindsay Morella. That's an easy one.
Yeah.
Connecticut working their way back in. I believe that is 140 to 90 officially on the score. A pull would make this huge 150 to 90. Leo trying to get that pull. He's getting Peter Lawrence on the hip and not able to actually swipe the flag away.
There is so much going on here. Yeah. Both teams are thinking fast. They're playing fast, which means you're having to speak fast. You're making me exhausted. They're making me exhausted.
It's fun. Don't we all love Quadball? It's the last game of the season, guys. Enjoy it. Harry Greenhouse, one of the best seekers this game has ever seen. Coach for Boston, BU, not Boston, the team, Boston University, the Terriers. He's giving Leo Freed some advice on what Peter Lawrence is doing. It's probably advice on when to time up his level change to get that pull. Tessa Mullins into the game. Lulu's going to sub out.
Yeah, I mean, she earned that sub. She had been running up and down this field, and Connecticut has done a great job at, for the most part, maintaining dodgeball control during the seeker floor.
And Augie Monroe will swap out for Michael Lee. Throw on Leo Freed. He is beat. Down the right-hand side, Michael Lee with the quad ball, driving across the front of the defense and finishes. He finally gets that goal he's been looking for this entire game. Daniel Williams is beat out. All the dodgeballs that can be possessed. Oh, Max Havlin trips over Peter Lawrence. Christian Barnes is running to get a ball. Ryan Davis is going to take a beat here and be sent back to the hoops. That shot attempt's going to go wide. Yada has it, looking over the top, and he's going to be DME jumping sky high for the alley-oop on that one. And as this goes on, hit the pull, but he drops it. He doesn't have to maintain control. They're arguing that he does not have to maintain control. He can pick it up after he swatted it off the back.
The crowd is going wild. I'm sure you can hear it being picked up on our mic here. And, I mean, from this angle, I could see Peter Lawrence calling that catch no good. I can kind of see the ref maybe giving them some leeway, but this might end up being called no good. And in that case, just a tragedy for Freed.
The argument that they're trying to make, Peter Lawrence is probably against it because he couldn't see it. They're trying to argue that Leo Freed had sole possession and then dropped it. That's a way different situation of Leo Freed swiping down and knocking it off of the flag runner's butt. It is literally, he had it in his hands, and when he hit the ground, he dropped it.
Correct.
That's the argument, and if that's the case, that is a clean catch, and Connecticut will have caught this flag runner. They're chanting VAR behind us. That has already happened multiple times today, and it probably will happen again. I don't know how good the camera angle is on it, but we'll see.
I mean, if we could get something like that, this is the moment where you really want to review the footage.
Yeah, that it's not good. We just saw
Review.
a
Catch by
photo
Connecticut
of a
is
still
good.
frame of Leo Freed's hand. I'm not going to tell you what I saw in that photo. Forever lost is that photo. Leo Freed with the pole, and that's 35 points to Connecticut. And that will stay between me and that photographer who got a great shot of that angle.
And that's going to mean that Warriors need 3 goals to go to Connecticut's 6 to end this game.
And the Connecticut Whales, they still got a long way to go, but they cut this lead down to 3.
And if they can keep this momentum going, whatever they found during the seeker floor has been, for the most part, working for them. They need to keep that when the Warriors have their dodgeballs on defense and offense, where it's not just chaser and keeper versus chaser on keeper.
I got to tell you this right now. The Warriors look like they're about to challenge this. They don't believe that Leo had possession of this, and somebody needs to find that photographer and delete that photo.
Yeah, we're having a huge ref hurdle.
I don't know how much you're going to get out of video review of a flagpole that happened with a lightning pace on that one. They're not going to accept the challenge. It looks like the Warriors are going to be sent off. Ryan Davis is going to be frustrated. Don't worry. They'll be back in probably about 5 seconds to go out here and chase and run through some people. The crowd now chanting referee of the year, David Bennis Snake. David not able to play in this year's Nationals, typically a high-level beater, but due to an injury was not able to play in this year's Nationals. Hope to see him back in a year or so.
I'm glad that hasn't kept him from reffing.
Exactly. The game needs it. Less posting to Reddit, more people out here reffing.
We're going to start play back up with dodgeball control in the hands of Connecticut. Daniel Williams maintaining his dodgeball and just heading back on defense.
Proud, decisively a Connecticut fan base here. Augie Monroe back into the game after giving Michael Lee a couple of rests. And by the way, Michael Lee, I think, went 2 for 2 on the offensive possessions that he had.
Yeah, Lee, great driver, and that Seeger floor is built for people exactly like him.
And there was a slight bobble of a pass there to John Jackson. John tried to dive to save it from going out of bounds. That's a turnover back to Warriors. Taylor Crawford jogging his way down the field. Max Havlin has a ball in front of him, and John Jackson's going to check back in front of that center hoop. Lindsay Morello looks like she might have some action for a hammer hovering around her. Quick movement up front. Stack formation from the beaters for Connecticut with Max Havlin up front and Lulu Zhu behind. Taylor Crawford trying to draw Lulu out, going to get taken out. DME's going to get that ball. And Max Havlin's going to maintain possession of his dodgeball. Lulu's going to maintain possession of hers. DME on the run. He's going to get beat no matter what. So he's trying to figure out where to make this pass go to. Molly Potter, the only chaser behind the hoops for Warriors.
Yeah, didn't have to make that pass. Was able to just kind of hide behind his beater there.
Daniel Williams floating around. He's been playing the entirety of this game. At some point, the unstoppable force has to get tired. Kobe Kendall trying to wrestle that ball away from Max Havlin and fails to do it for the second time on this possession. Throw up front, and that's a hammer call. David Bennis called no good initially, but the head ref says good. Now they're on a run, and it looks like John Jackson may be going full speed as Kobe Kendall's got to make the long stride to go out there and get the only dodgeball. It's a goal for Connecticut.
And that was great support from Connecticut's teammates. Mike Lee able to kind of screen Molly Potter off that hoop. Lindsay Morello also able to bring a screen in on the point defender there.
And there is a conversation being had about how Molly Potter got bumped off of that hoop and whether it was a legal motion. The nearest referee is Matt Melton, who is on the rules committee, and he deemed that was legal. So it has to be. Trust me. DME up top again with the ball. Daniel Williams in front. Exchange up front, and the exchange goes back to Max Havlin. This may be a no dodgeball situation, and DME hooks around Lindsay Morella, and that is going to be called good.
Not quite called good yet. It looks like there's going to be a rough discussion. If it is good, though, that puts Warriors at 1 point away from gaining their second national championship.
Right. Second in 3 years.
Yep.
Runners up last year after losing the Boom Train.
And they're looking to take that title back.
No doubt. Boom Train, big shout out to them. The first Midwest team to win the club championship in the history of this sport. They're going to call it goal no good. Or they're going to continue to check here. They're going to call it no good. It'll stay 170, 140. Moving from Mike Lee back up top to John Jackson. Once again, Mike charging in there, trying to draw that beater action to see if he can help out Lulu Zoo and Max Havlin and possibly get a no dodgeball situation.
Mike Lee has proven himself to be fast and an amazing driver. You have to respect that if you're the Warriors.
Molly Potter off the hoop, driving towards Emma Persons. Back over to Augie. Augie looking back up top to Emma. She's gonna run back into the zones that are covered by Max and Lulu. Lindsay Morella, who we haven't seen do a lot of the patented shooting we've seen before in her long history. She's gonna rip that one back up top to John Jackson. Taylor Crawford's already out there to meet him. He knows how dangerous John can be in open space.
Person's providing a screen, yep.
Mike Lee back up top. Molly Potter tries to run towards him, shifts out of the way. Daniel Williams trying to force that one. Lazy Morella looking at what I thought personally was going to be a shot through from Emma Persons again. Back over to Morella. John Jackson. Daniel Williams just tried to pump fake John Jackson off of his groom. Max Havlin on the right-hand side. Lulu back up top.
And we've got a sub coming in. Augie Monroe back into this game.
Emma rotating behind. Lindsay Morella directly next to her. Pass back over to Lindsay Morella, trying to get the beaters to lose their focus for half a second so they can get a look at Daniel Williams to get a clean shot off. Daniel pump faking. Definitely not going to throw it, but just in case he is, you got to move that ball around, right? Daniel Williams, the last stand in terms of dodgeball help for the Warriors, checking to make sure that Kobe Kendall is keeping Max Havlin away from him. Somebody just yelled, "I hate trees."
And that Trees defense is making this offense go a bit slower. Everybody on this Connecticut team having to kind of poke and prod around the defense to open something up.
And we got to be wondering at some point, a stall warning, right?
It looks like they're engaging the defense, though. Properly so. Great goal by Mike.
Connecticut uses 1.5. Augie picks up one they're throwing down and drives right through them and finishes on the backside of the hoop. By the way, congratulations to Augie Monroe. I don't think he's played a quadball game since he became a dad. So
I think this is his first one.
Yeah. That was that dad strength on that drive.
And that puts the score at 170 to 150 in favor of the Warriors.
This is much closer than the pool play game we saw yesterday. Connecticut clearly making the adjustments. Oh, a beautiful shot from Molly Potter. Augie trying to get out here in space. Daniel is going to be down. This is going to be an open opportunity. Augie running, spinning her way. He's going to be hooked for a second, and now Ryan Davis has got him. He's beat, but he can't get away because Ryan Davis is holding him. Are they going to say Ryan initiated contact from behind?
We'll see what they say here. Just wanted to shout out Molly Potter's shot on that last one. We were talking about it earlier. She always seems to have this great shot, but she wasn't able to use it throughout this game due to the Trees defense. But Warriors got Connecticut moving around and was able to open up that open hoop for her.
Oh, Kobe Kendall is down on the ground. I just realized that. Sorry about that, Kobe. Looks like they cramped up. They've been playing vast majority of this game, so it makes sense.
Right.
Not a lot of water breaks in quad ball. Although I will say, weather beautiful.
Oh, it is beautiful.
The sun is setting behind us, and I'm sure you guys can see it on the camera, but that glow from the sun over the tree line is pretty amazing. Heat is not a factor right now. It's been pretty cool all day. There's been a breeze that I'm sure, if you've been paying attention to the quad ball discussion Reddit, has been everybody's favorite part about nationals, right? All the dust we've been inhaling this entire time. But nonetheless, Kobe is going to stay down for a second, and hopefully they're going to pop up here in a second.
And it looks like we're going to take a stoppage here.
And Kobe's going to walk off the pitch. That's good to see. crowd seeing hydration being an issue made sure they hydrated referee of the year, David Banish.
Right.
Big fans.
You always have the water boys coming out for the teams. Not enough water boys for the refs.
That's what I'm saying. They're running too. Looks like we got Vinny out. Oh no, Vinny is not going to go out there. Max is going to come back out along with Lulu. Augie is going to be beat. That was a near goal situation for Connecticut, but thanks to some hustle from Daniel Williams, they stopped him. And now they're going to get up and down the field. Lindsey Morello looking to move 1.5 from Daniel Williams for a potential game.
And that's it.
And they beat him, but not in enough time. Ryan Davis with the potential game winner.
They're going to have to discuss whether Ryan Davis was beat before or after they were able to get that shot off. Of course, Davis thinks they got it off in time.
Yeah.
Certainly
Slightly
not biased.
Slightly biased, maybe. Who knows? Ryan ready to celebrate. And the Warriors on the verge of pulling off something pretty impressive here. If this goal is good, the Warriors will be undefeated national champions. Very rare to ever reach that kind of era and have won nearly every regional qualifier throughout the course of this season. So, been pretty impressive for them overall. Connecticut battling back in this one, 180 to 150, potentially 190 to 150, our potential final score here after them running away with it in pool play just actually less than 24 hours ago. So Connecticut showing a complete flip of the script in terms of how they play on offense. Even when they were struggling early on in terms of goals being scored, they found a way to pull it off. Now, a long conversation here is because there was a beat from Max Havlin as Ryan Davis was driving in. They're trying to figure out if Ryan was beat before they released that ball, which would negate the goal.
And as you were saying earlier, Connecticut has done a great job adjusting their game throughout this tournament. And I mean, as we've been talking about, all of these players have been playing for a long time at an elite level, and that's something that you have to be able to do to get to where they are now.
And while we're waiting to hear what's happening on this goal, the huddle is broken up. The zeros are up for the Warriors, representing the number of losses they have this season on the sideline, holding it above their head, waiting to hear what the referees have to say.
Was good. Warriors.
And that's it. The Warriors have won.
Undefeated national champions, the Warriors. 2 championships in 3 years. They were runner-ups last year. They are first place this year.
This has been a great game to see by both teams. I'm lucky to have been able to watch it.
Amazing out here. And that is the final game of the season. U.S. Quadball Cup 2025. The Warriors victorious over Connecticut. Connecticut, like we said, battling back 190 to 150. A lot closer than we saw last night.
Right.
Thank you.